Okay, we're continuing with Siyat Shmaya and Amud Yomi, Daf Yud Gimel Amud Beis today, again for Refuah Shlema, all the injured, the Nishmas, all the 34 soldiers that have been killed, and Siyat Shmaya to give all for all the soldiers, Bezrat Hashem. So we're up to the Gemara, Daf Yud Gimel Amud Aleph. The Gemara had said, based on the Mishnah, if it says Hayar Kori Batorah, you're reading the Torah, and Vigia Zman HaMikra, and it came Zman of Kriyat Shema. At that point, so Im Kivin Libo Yatsa. So the Gemara says, oh, Shmamina, we see here, Mitzvah Tzrichos Kavana, we have a proof, the Mitzvah Tzrichos Kavana, that you're miskaven, you need to be miskaven the Shem Mitzvah. And therefore you have a question to Rabbah in the Sechas Rosh Hashanah that says, Atokeh L'Shir Yatsa, that he didn't have Kavana. So the Gemara answers, what does it mean, Ma'im Kivin Libo? No, it means Likros. It means you had Kavana to Likros. Right? What do you mean? Likros. V'hakari. He reads. So more says, Bekori lahagia. Right? So at the beginning it says, Kiven Likros. But not to, all you need is he had a Kavana to actually read it. But to Lotzi statements, you don't need Miskavin, only to read. The Gemara says, Habakori, that's what he's doing. Right? It's Kaya Kori Batorah. So my answer is no. What he was doing is Kori lahagia. So here we have Machlokas Rashi and Tosos. Rashi says Kori lahagia et sefer im yesh bo tos. He's saying proofreading. The afil kriya nami. He is not even really reading. The afil kriya nami lo miskavi. Tosos argues. Tosos, after quoting Rashi, who says perish b'kontrish she'ena miskavi likros tema akati haka kari, but he's still reading. He's still reading Machlokas Rashi and Tosos. What's Machlokas? Rav Soloveitchik and the Rishimos explains it's a machlokas in what is misasik. Okay, that according to Rashi, even though you know you did a maisa, if you don't want that maisa to happen, it's called misasik. Right? Did it's misasik, where you don't have full, it's not even shogeg, it's all about rotzon. As opposed to Tosfos is to tell you on your knowledge. And therefore, it's only when you don't know about the action, and therefore he says here, Akati Kakari. What are you talking about? You're reading. And it's not considered misasik. Therefore, Tosos answers a different answer. What does it mean, Kori Lagia, according to Tosos? He says, Alkein Nir Kori Lagia, Sheini Yodea, Tevos Kilchaso Nekudas, and he doesn't know how to read the words properly. Ela Bekisa Kesivasan, as it's written, Kari. Kedei Lavina Bechasiros of Yeseros, Kamola Totafot, Mizuzot, Vimkivin Libo Lav Dafka, El Klomar, Lekros Kedin, to read properly, Kinekudasan Ukihel Chasan. So Tosos here talks about that you have to read it properly. Now the question is, the Gemara later on says that if you read it and not medaktik and osios yotze. So Rav Soloveitchik explained that Tosos holding arsogya is the difference between changing the words, what the meaning of the words. Therefore you're not yotze, it's not called kriya kiksava. Supposed to later on where he made a mistake and he didn't change the words, he just changed the s versus ace. No difference in the words, in the meaning of the words. The Rav Soloveitchik brings up that there might be a difference between Kriyas HaTorah, where the Rambam in Perek Yud Beis Halacha Vav says Kara V'tah, even bediktuk os achad you machzir noto ad shikrena bediktuk, that even if just in the pronunciation alone, machzir noto, that when it comes to Kriyas HaTorah, it might be different than Kriyat Shema, and which is known as Reb Chaim. Maybe this sheet of the Ram, Reb Chaim would even correct somebody in Kriyas HaTorah if they made a mistake in the trup in the niggin. We don't paskin that, right? We paskin like the Sefer HaManig, that even if you make a mistake with that the Manig would say, even if you make a mistake in the actual meaning of the words, but we basically say that because he says not to embarrass people, but if there's a mistake in the words, in the meaning of the words, we change it, we correct but it shouldn't be a game. We move ahead. Tan rabbis taught on the bottom of Yigim Alf, still on yesterday's daf. Kriyat Shema kich sava div Rebbe. Rebbe says you have to read Kriyat Shema Lashon HaKodesh. Chacham imam b'chol lashon, all languages. My time of the Rebbe, like in Lashon HaKodesh, Amar Kral Pasuk says Vayu adrim ha'ele Vayu b'av yasinu in Lashon HaKodesh. For Rabban in my time, Mayu, why did they say b'chol lashon? Amar Kral, it says Shema. The b'chol lashon shata shomei, every language that you hear and understand it. or listen. Ula Rebbe Nami, what does he have to do with? What does he do with Shema? Ksiv Shema, he needs this for the following Gemara later on. That Shema means Hashmei La'oznecha Mashata Motzei Mipicha. It's not enough to think. You have to say the words, and you got to listen to the words out of your mouth when you're saying Kriyat Shema. V'Rabbanan, they hold like the opinion. We'll see it's machlokas later on. Rabbi Yossi, I don't remember the other opinion. It's b'diavad yotze. Ayul Rabbanan Nami Haksiv Vayu, and he had said b'chol lashon. But what does he do with Vayu? So the Rabbanan says that you shouldn't read lemafreya. Shalei kra lemafreya. You have to read it as is. For Rebbe, who uses Vayu for lashon hakodesh, what does he learn that he can't read out of order? Shalei kra lemafreya min na'alei. Nafkalei midvarim. Hadvarim, it says the extra hay. And Rabbanan didn't have that limud. Dvarim hadvarim lo darshu. Now the Gemara says the main with the Savar Rebbe that all of Torah is b'chol lashon lav dafka b'lashon hakodesh nemra. Why? Why do I need Vayu to tell me that? Vayu the kasav rachman alam ali and 4 lines from the bottom. The Gemara answers it. I need it mishum dechsev shema because it says shema. Because I could have thought b'chol lashon. The memra the other way now. The Savar Rabbanan that the Rabbanan held the b'chol Torah kula b'lashon hakodesh nemra. The whole Torah is b'lashon hakodesh. So then Shema the Kasav Rachman Alamali. Again, just the opposite. Must be that the Rabbanan hold that the whole Torah is Bechol Lashon. Because if they held it's Bechol Lashon, why do I need the Shema? So my answer is Ishtrich Mitshum Dechsev again because it says Ve'hayu. Very important Tosfos on B'lashon HaKodesh Nemra. So what does it mean Bechol Lashon HaKodesh Nemra? So Rashi says. Tosfos quotes Rashi Megillah. It says L'kros B'Torah, right? To read what? To read the Torah. And Tosfos says, what are you talking about? Ezra is mitaking Kriyas HaTorah. Before Ezra, it didn't happen. So Tosfos says V'yeshlomer the Mayri beParshiyot. What are we talking about? Reading Doraisa, and that's Parsha Zachor. The Tosfos Rosh says Parshas Para. Also, Inami over here Mikra Bikurim Vidoy Ma'aser or Parshas Chalitza that have mitzvah b'Torah to read them. According to the Rabbanan, it could be it was to all 70 nations. It's 70 Lashonos for 70 nations. Gemara continues. Right, there's a rush here. This is the rush that says maybe you need 10 people for Parsha Zachor. Okay, different ways to read the rush. We move on, bottom 2 lines. Tan Rabbanan Vayu Shlei Kol Mafrei. Should not read out of order. Hadivarim alivavecha. Yachote kol aparshat tzrucha kavana. You might think that what you need everything. You need kavana. Tamalomar ha'ela. It says ha'ela. Ad kan tzrichas kavana. Bekan ve'elch in tzrichas kavana de Rebbe Lazar. We have machlokas Rashi and Tosfos here. What is ad kan? Ad kan is ad alivavecha. You say Shema Yisrael Shem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, including Baruch Shem, then you say Vayu Advarim Ha'ila Ve'Ohavtas Hashem Alkecha B'chol Avav V'chol Nafshecha V'chol Me'odecha. That's what Tosfos says. Tosfos says Ad B'chol Me'odecha because you need the first 2 psukim that talk about Yichud Hashem and Ava and Yira. That's what you need Kavana for, as opposed to Rashi who says you say Shema Ve'Ohavtas Hashem Alkecha B'chol Avav V'chol Nafshecha V'chol Me'odecha Vayu Advarim Ha'ila Sha'anochim Mitzavacha Yom Alevavecha until that pasuk. That's Rabbi Lazar. Amalei Rekiva, Hari Omer. We finally get to today's daf and you give him a base. Says Asher Anochim Mitzavacha Yom Alevavecha. So Mikan Atalamed Shekol Parsha Kula Tzricha Kavana. The whole parsha needs Kavana. Amar Rav Chanan Rav Yochanan Halacha Ki Rabbi Akiva. The halacha is like Rabbi Akiva. Ika Demas Neila. That you need the whole parsha to have Kavana. Ika Demas. Some say that which we saw about Rabbi Rav Chanan. On the following brisa, the Tanya, that Akori Shema Tzar Shechavin Libo, you have to have Kavana. Ravacha Mishum Rabbi Yehuda Amar Kevich Kivan Libo in Parak Rishon Shuvin Tzarach, just the first parak. Right, this brayta has problems where we have a machlokas. What exactly is Daraisa? Is it the first pasuk, the first parak? So this one seems to be like the Rambam holds all 3 prakim. If it's all 3 prakim, then why would you not need Kavana for all of them if it's Daraisa? So Rav Soloveitchik talks about that in his Shirei Rav, the kiyum of Kabbalah Al Malchus Shamayim. See in the Shirei Rav that deals with this question. So the Gemara continues. Amar Rabbi Rav Chana, on that price, Amar Rav Yochanan Halacha Ki Rav Acha. She'amar Mishum Rabbi Yehuda, that says you need only for the Perek Rishon. Tanidach, we have another brisa. V'hayu, as we had such late Karlam Afreya al Levavech. Rav Zutra Omer Arkan mitzvahs kavana, kan ve'elach mitzvahs kriya. So Rav Zutra says from now it's mitzvahs kavana, but from then on it's mitzvahs kriya. Rabbi Yoshi Omer Arkan mitzvahs kriya, but mikan ve'elach mitzvahs kavana. What does that mean? Ma'ishna mikan ve'elach mitzvahs kriya. Why would you need that only dichtiv, because it says l'daber bam in the second paragraph? Achanami in the first paragraph it says haksiv v'dibarta bam. So what's going on? So the Gemara says hachi kamar arkan in the first paragraph it says kavana ukriya, but mikan ve'elach you have kriya in the second paragraph below kavana. Ask the Gemara, what's the difference? Ma'ishna arkan mitzvahs kavana v'kriya dichtiv, because it says in the first paragraph al levavcha and v'dibarta bam. But Asamnami in the second paragraph it says Aksiv alavavchem and ledaber bam. So the Gemara answers Hahu in the second paragraph of ledaber bam, that's of alavavchem. Hahu mibayile for Rabbi Yitzchak. To Amar Rabbi Yitzchak it says V'samtem ez devrai ela alavavchem. So teach me a din in tefillin. Sricha shtei sima keneged alev, that you put the tefillin shal yad keneged your lev. The Gemara continues. Amar Ravoshia Omer Arka mitzvahs kriya, kan ve'elach mitzvahs kavana. Ma'ishna, that mikan ve'elach mitzvahs kavana, right? Mishum dechsiv, you want to tell me because it says alav avchem achanami in the second paragraph, right? In the second paragraph is alav avchem achanami. It said alav avcha in the first paragraph. What's the difference? Hachi kamar arkan mitzvahs kriya ve'kavana, mikan ve'elach. The first paragraph kavana below kriya, right? The second paragraph now is kavana below kriya. Ask the Gemara Ma'ishna, what's the difference? Arkan mitzvahs kriya ve'kavana dechtiv alav avcha. And the second paragraph also Sanam Yaksiv Alavavchem and Daber Bam. Answers the Gemara. The second paragraph is Divrei Torah. Ksiv Vachikam Rachmana. Agamiru Benaichu Torah. Make sure you teach your children Torah ki heichadilagarsebahu, in order that it's ledaber bam, that they speak about it. It's not just to teach them Torah, but it's that in order that ledaber bam. Limadatem otam et b'neichem ledaber bam. You teach your children to be able to continue speaking about it. Tan Rabban, and the Brisa continues. Shema Yisrael Hashem Elkein Hashem Echad Arkan Tzricha Kavanas Halev, according to Rabbi Meir. Amar Rav Halacha ki Rabbi Meir. Tanya Simchas Omer. Simchas says Kol HaMa'arich be'echad Ma'arich lo Yom Nosaf. If you are elongating the echad, you get long days. Echad. Amar Rav Acha Bar Yaakov Uvidalid. You're talking about in the with the dalid. And not the chet, Rashi says, not the chet. Okay, the dalid you have to yarich until it's very clear that you're thinking about, as we will see, that there's a Kadosh Baruch Hu Yachid b'Shamayim v'Aretz, and for the dalid is the arba ruchot, as the Gemara says, as we're about to say. Marvash yuvat shelo yichtov b'chet. You shouldn't cut off too much the chet, because of the arichas of dalid. You shouldn't be mimaher the kriya. Right, they shouldn't read it. You have to read it with a patach. Right, make sure echad. Right, you have to read it. You have to say the chet onwards. Rav Yirmav Yosef Kamei the Rav Chia Barabba Chazi the is marich too. We're going too long. I'm like Kevin de la Mach to the Mavel Mat to la Baruch Shmaim Sulu Tzrichas. Right, you don't have to go too long. Your Mamlich Hakadosh Baruch Hu upstairs, downstairs here, 4 Ruch Shmaim. That's all you need. Amar Rav Nasabar Mar Ukva Mar Rav Yudah Alev Avcha Ba'amidah. Alevavcha sagadaitach eleima ad alevavcha b'amida. Kan ve'elach lo. V'yochanan makor parsha kula b'amida. V'az Rav Yochanan tamid. Amar Rav Yochanan halach Rav Acha she'amar mishum Rabbi Yehuda. Again, according to Beis Hillel, it said if you're being oskim malachton, you're v'korin u'mahalchim. Korin, you can even read that way. Modim here that you have to stand in one place, right? Because this is where you have kavana. Tan Rabbanon Shema Yisrael Hashem Elkein Echad Zu Kriyat Shema of Rav Yehuda Nossi. Again, this is where Rav Soloveitchik talks about one pasuk. What do you do for going according to the Rambam, who says you have 3 paragraphs. Amalei Rav the Rav Chia Lo Chazina Lei the Rav the Rebbe the Mekabel Malchus Shamayim. I didn't see Rebbe be Mekabel Malchus Shamayim. Amalei Bar Pachti B'Shosh Mavir Yodav Al Panav, and I put my hands on my face, right? So what does it mean he didn't see his Rebbe be Mekabel Shem? He was teaching Torah to his Talmidim before Zman Kriyat Shema, and then Zman came. Lo ra'iti, I didn't see you stopping. He was teaching Torah. So he says, he calls him Bar Pachti, like the son of leaders or whatever it is. He says, you didn't see when I put my hand over my face, right? And I was Kabbalah of Malchut Shemaim, then Chozer V'Gomra. So sorry, B'Shah Shema V'Yodav Panav, when I put my hand on his face, Kabbalah of Malchut Shemaim. As the Gemara Chozer V'Gomra in a Chozer V'Gomra. As the Gemara, after he finished with the Talmidim, did he finish Shema or did he not? Bar Kabor Marmar Inu Chozer V'Gomra. Rav Shimon Berebi Amar Chozer V'Gomra. Amle Bar Kabor Rav Shimon Berebi Bishlam Adidi Damina Inu Chozer V'Gomra. According to me, he didn't go back. Hainu D'Mahad Rebbe Hashmaita. This is why he did Chazara on the Gemara, the Isbei Yitzias Mitzrayim, right? He would teach the Talmidim every single day a Gemara that has Yitzias Mitzrayim, right? Instead of the Parashas Tzitzis V'Emes Yatziv, that would be good enough for that part of Shema. But L'Didcha Da'amras Chozer V'Gomra, why would Rebbe do that? Lama Le'Laduri Kedei Lahaski Yitzias Mitzrayim Bizmano. So why would he go back? Because he wanted to make sure during Zman Kriyat Shema to mention Yitzias Mitzrayim. Omar Avila B'rei the Rav Shmuel Bar Marta Mishmei the Rav Omar Shema Yisrael Shem Lakin Hashem Echad. You said Shema Shem V'Nenas B'Sheina, and then you fell asleep. Yatza. The Omar of Nachman Le Drew Avde, to his servant Drew. B'Psuka Kama Tze'aran. Wake him up for the first pasuk. There's no onus of Sheina over here, right? If you see me falling asleep, metza'eroti, until I get up well for the first pasuk, right? But tfei lo titza'aran. Again, this is what we had talked about, because the first pasuk maybe again have that full kabbalah to Malchut Shemaim experience. Amar Rav Yosef, Rav Yosef, Berei the Rabba, Avucha Hechi Avid. What did your father do? Maybe Psuka Kama Avukam Mitzar Nafshi, but tfei lo av Mitzar Nafshi. Only the first pasuk. Amar Rav Yosef, Prakton lo yikra Kriyat Shema. Right, the person who's laying on his back, and so then his front is towards his belly, and his front side is up. Lo yikra Kriyat Shema. So the Gemara says mikru de lo mikri, but hamigani shapradami. So you're saying just don't read Kriyat Shema that way, but you can go to sleep. What are you talking about? Rishon Levi lied. He cursed anybody who slept that way. Mana de gani aprakid. Right, he cursed anybody that way because maybe you'll have an erection within your Shena, and it'll be seen, and it's derech gnai. The Gemara says, Amar minga kimatzli shapir dami. As long as he's on his side, he's okay, right? But mikra Kriyat Shema, even davening that way, is asar, because you have to be mekabel o Malchut Shamayim this way in a derech srora v'gaiva, and it's no good. Right? So where does it say? Mikra fagav dematzli nami aser. You tell me that reading Kriyat Shema, even though he's davening, it's aser. Rav Yochanan matzli v'kari shani. Rav Yochanan, the Gemara says no, because Rav Yochanan is different, because he was very heavy. The Baal Basar Avi, right? He was very heavy. You see, as long as he's on his side, but that was Rav Yochanan. But to read Kriyat Shema even on your side is us to be makabel Allah Malchut Shemaim. That's what we had said. So maybe Rav Yochanan might be different because he was a Baal Basar. We'll continue with tomorrow's daf and Yud Dalet.